everyone and welcome back. Many of you asked me how to upgrade the 4 Divine build and take it to the next level. On this video, you will get the answer for that, so let's get started with the gear. For a bow, look for one with high DPS within your budget and an additional arrow. It doesn't have to be a dual string since dual strings are quite expensive. This particular bow is 374 DPS with plus 3 levels to all projectile skills, which will give us a huge DPS boost. This bow was 4 divines. For a quiver, look for one with flat fizz, cold or lightning, increased damage with bows, increased projectile speed, attack speed, dex and mana. This quiver was 1 divine. For this build, we are going to use the Hands of Wisdom and Action. These gloves were 6 divines. Helmet, evasion base helmet with triple res, max life and some rarity. This helmet was 50 exalted orbs. Body armor, high evasion base, preferably 1.5k and above, at least 50 spirit and some dexterity. This body armor was 1 divine. For boots, 30 movement speed, chaos res, any other resistances that you are lacking, max life and mana would be great. These boots were 30 exalted orb. For a belt, chaos res, any other resistances that you are lacking, max life and some stats or mana would be great. This belt was 26 exalted orbs. For rings, look for an amethyst base with life, mana, resistances, intelligence or dex, some flat fizz, cold and lightning damage. Lightning or cold percentage would be great as well. Both of the rings were 3 divines. Amulet, all elemental resistances, intelligence or dexterity, rarity and maximum life. We are going to anoint the amulet with Essence of the Storms. The current price for this anointment is approximately 60 exalted orbs. This amulet was 90x base and 60 for the anointment, totaling at 150 exalted orbs. For jewels, we are going to use the same jewels as the 4 divine build unless you are lacking some resistances. In this case, look for corrupted jewels with the resistances that you are lacking. If you haven't followed the 4 divine build before going into this one, feel free to check my video on how to look for jewels. A link to the video should appear on the screen right now. Most of the jewels were between 10 and 20 divine orbs. We will take the average as 15, so 15 times 7 is 105. This brings our total cost to 15 divines plus 361 exalted orbs. At the current market price of 1 divine per 126 exalted orbs, this build was 17.86 divines. That's it for the gear, and now let's move on to the skill tree. Start by taking the projectile damage nodes. Damage with hits against enemies affected by elemental ailments. Bonuses gained from quiver. Damage for each type of elemental ailment on enemy. Evasion and movement speed. Elemental damage with attacks and a jewel slot. Attack damage and movement speed. Increases and reductions to projectile speed also apply to damage with bows. Movement speed and skill speed. Freeze buildup. Elemental damage, chance to shock, freeze buildup, and damage penetrates enemy elemental resistances. Lightning damage and lightning damage with non-critical hits is lucky. Going up and taking dexterity nodes. Evasion and dexterity. Evasion rating from body armor is doubled. Damage with heralds. Acrobatics. Damage penetrates cold and lightning resistances. Projectile damage and chance to chain an additional time from terrain. Projectile damage, projectile speed and movement speed, evasion and movement speed. Once you level up even further, you can go back down and take 2 jewel slots and movement speed and attack speed if you've killed recently. This is it for the passive skill tree, and now let's head over to the gems. If you don't have enough links, use the gems in the same order that they are in the video. For Ice Shot we have Primal Armament, Martial Tempo, Heft, and Ricochet. Herald of Thunder, Innervate, Glaciation, Cold Infusion, and Lightning Mastery. For Herald of Ice, lightning infusion, conduction, magnified effect, and cold mastery, wind dancer, blind, lightning rod, scattershot, lightning penetration, and concentrated effect, 4 orb of storms overabundance, chain, unleash, and execute, cast on shock for bosses, use ball lightning, impetus, energy retention, and inspiration. And for mapping, you can use blink with ingenuity and arcane tempo. Blink will let you teleport like this to make your mapping faster. And that's it for the skill gems. If you are looking to upgrade this build even more, buying rings or amulet with all attributes will help us gain more damage due to the Hands of Wisdom and action. Buying jewels with at least 12% bonuses gained from quiver with an additional modifier that gives you damage, movement speed, or evasion. Upgrade the quiver to a quiver with +2 to all projectile skills. If you are going this route and have level to all projectile skills on your bow, you could have some mana issues. To solve this, simply replace Heft with Inspiration. If you're still having mana issues, you could also get some mana regeneration rate on your amulet or jewels and some more mana on your gear. For bosses, it is recommended to buy the Thief's Dormant Ring and swap your rings before the boss encounter to sustain your mana, otherwise you'd have to use your flasks and potentially lose some DPS. And that would be it for today's video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you on the next one.